Well, good morning and welcome back to 21 Days of Prayer. I want to talk a little bit about writing and how that might fit in with your prayer time and your morning reflective time. So Luke talked about keeping a prayer diary and things to remember to pray about. I'm coming at this a little bit differently. So my mornings begin with coffee and often the Lord's Prayer down by the coffee pot, sometimes kneeling, sometimes not. But then I go up to my office at home and I start into a devotional time. And it's a mix of Bible reading and prayer and journaling. And I guess if I have one big suggestion for you today, it's sort of slow down and process. So I read often a psalm. I was using a Tim Keller book on the Psalms for a couple years. I've finished that. So I read a psalm. I'm always reading in the Gospels, a chapter or two. Oftentimes I'll write out a few paragraphs. 10 verses is what I typically would write out going through the Gospels. Just, start with Matthew, and the downside is you're instantly into the genealogies. But just writing it out, because sometimes writing it out forces me to see things that I don't see otherwise. I then try and sit just quietly. My goal is 5 minutes of silence and not praying, but just sort of letting my mind slow down. And I've got a piece of paper next to me because things show up like, oh, I got to remember that I got to call, David Weil and tell him this, or I got to remember I got to do this. And so I just write those things down so I can just forget about them and to just let the popcorn popper of my brain just settle. And then I'll often write in a journal for a little bit. And then I've got a prayer. I've got my prayer list, and I pull that out and pray. And then I am reading, and I'm reading books. Again, Calvin's Institutes. I've got about 7 or 8 different books that I'll read a page or two in, and that's my sort of devotional quiet time. But sometimes I'm writing out my prayers, but I'm writing things down, and I'm trying to expand and reflect and remember. When the Bible talks about remembering, it's not just intellectual remembering. It's sort of moving into that moment. I mean, think of the sacraments that we have, that we're remembering profound events and moving into the grace of that, but also we're actually eating to remember, and we're getting wet to remember Christ's death. We're going in these directions. And so I want to encourage you to take advantage of writing things out, to slow yourself down and go a little bit deeper with all the different things that you're doing in your morning devotions. Have a good day.